here we have Grant Brooks, who came to me. Grant toured in a band called Through Fire with us 3 different tours.
We toured in 2018. That was our first tour together. Yeah. We hit all over the U.S. And then we toured the past fall, right when COVID was just slowly letting
That was the Iron Maiden tour, the quote-unquote Iron Maiden tour, right?
Well, was it after that? I think
no, that was September, last September.
Oh, so, okay, gotcha. Because I remember you coming up to me, maybe it was in September, and saying what PJ said, if you ever need somebody, let me know. I remember, like, when you're on tour and you see guys, say, what's up? But talking, I was like, who's this guy? Sounds like Gomer Pyle, man. He has got it. But I was like, I always take that and put it in my back pocket because I think it's great. Like, if you ever need somebody, let me know. Because in this business, you never know when you might need somebody. So that stood out to me, and I thought, that's interesting. That takes a lot of balls for somebody to say that, you know?
Right.
What was your reasoning for asking that question?
Well, touring with you guys like I did all throughout 2018 and just seeing the stage presence, the music, and what all y'all brought to the table, I was like, I don't know what it's going to take, but I want to be behind the kit for Fozzy, like whatever it takes. And I remember, I think we was halfway through the tour. I can't remember where it was at, but I went up to Rich and I was like, we talked for like a good 30 minutes. And I told him the same thing. I was like, if you ever need a drummer, hit me up, let me know. And
and that's what happened. Do you remember that, Rich, when he said that to you? What did you think when he asked you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember him saying that. And the only reason I don't is just because those are the kind of casual conversations that you have with friends. It's like, hey, man, you ever find a tight spot, man? You need a guy? Yeah. Give me a buzz. Yeah. And I've said that to other people too, but I always say it, and I'm not going to join your band. But if you ever need a guy to fill in, I'm happy to come and be your guy because we're friends and whatever. So I don't remember that, but I do remember our friends in the Stir who are now Like Machines were looking for a drummer. And Tanner, the band leader, reached out to me and said, do you know any drummers? I said, absolutely. There's the best drummer I know, lives outside of Tupelo, Mississippi. He's a guy named Grant Brooks. And I hooked Grant up with Tanner.
Wow.
Yeah, I got them talking. And when I called Grant to tell him about Like Machines, he goes, oh, man, I was hoping you were calling to ask me about Fozzy.
Sure was.
Yeah, here's what he said. And then found it didn't work out with Like Machines because Like Machines was looking for someone locally in Atlanta.
Right.
So it didn't work out. But then when we had the need to look for somebody, I remember we were on the bus in England, and I said, I think we should really consider Grant, mainly because of his attitude. Because we can always audition and find out if he can play the parts. But the most important part that everyone needs to know is, do you want to sit at base camp 2 and boil water with Sherpas, or do you want to go to the frickin' summit? Grant's a summit kind of guy. Yeah. I don't want to hang out with base camp 2 and boil water guys. I do not. Only people that want to go risk frickin' life and limb frostbite to get to that top and take that picture with those flags. Those are the only people that I want to be associated with. And I knew Grant was a summit guy. And because you just... Every one of us, our parents have said, you got to have a backup plan. Like, no parent in their rightful mind would send their child out and say, go be a rock star. You'll have no problems. It's super easy. Everybody's doing it. It's like, this is rare air.
Yeah.
You want to make records? You want to go on tour? This is something that talent has so little to do with it. It is all about what are you willing to do. It's Sean Connery in, what was that movie with Elliot Ness?
Oh, yeah, The Untouchables.
The Untouchables. What are you willing to do?
What was Peter Chris's thing? Drummer willing to do anything to make it.
Yeah.
That was his ad, that Gene and Paul, willing to do anything to make it, right? So when we decided to make the change in drumming, and obviously, listen, bass is very important, but bass is part of the front line. You're only as good in a rock and roll band as your drummer. I think we can all agree upon that.
Agreed.
So we had a very short list, and then it was up to you to decide who we should use. And you and I had some conversations. I always look at it from imaging and from personality, and then you do too, but then you have to do the next step of, can the guys play the part? Because like PJ said, these are some very deceptively intricate songs that aren't easy to do, especially to lock in with you.
Yeah, and that was... So I jammed with Grant, and I jammed with one other guy.
Yeah.
And very different styles, very different skill sets. But the real thing that was the deal maker for me with Grant is the summit, is that I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Like, he lives 3.5 hours away from where our rehearsal space is. I'll drive every day. I'll come up there. I'll relocate. I'll do whatever it takes.
Doesn't ask for gas money.
No, it doesn't ask for anything.
Yeah.
Just says, this is what I want to do. And you know what? We can work. I knew his base level skills were there. All you have to do is just, it's like a basketball player who played for another team for a long time. You just have to teach him your style.
Yeah.
He has to work into your format, and I knew he had the ability to. We just had to work, so we
locked
did.
in together.
Yeah, we did. I told Grant at the very beginning, we are saying the same words, but we're saying them in a different language. But you have to speak our language. We ain't coming over to your language. Yeah. You have to learn how to speak like Fozzy. So we're just going to have to go through boot camp, and we're going to learn it, and we're going to reprogram you to think the way that we think. Because if I was to join his old band Through Fire, then I got to learn their style. I got to learn their system. And he did. He did whatever it took.
And my thing was, we were texting, how's Grant doing? How do you do? My thing, too, I was like, dude, like, we wanted somebody, a younger attitude. You know what I mean? And I remember saying, dude, he plays without his shirt. Like, that's what I like. I don't ever want to see him wearing a shirt ever on stage. Because how many guys don't wear shirts on stage in this day and age? Naked. You know what I mean? And to me, I was like, this is the guy. As long as he can come within the ballpark of drumming that you can help with the rest, that's the guy. And that's why you're here, from all those elements.
Very happy to be here.
What did you think when you finally got the call of getting in the band?
Well, I still remember the call. When he first called me, it was the day after Thanksgiving to learn the songs, come down. I remember I was putting in 6 or 7 hours every day, just playing. We jammed, and then I realized what I had to do. Went back and did it, and all I could think about was like, man, I hope I get this. I hope I get the part. Put in a lot of work. He called, and I was like, I gotta call my dad, like, because it was just so exciting. It was super exciting.
Didn't I call you too and tell you, or who called? I called
you,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, you called me, and I was like, I gotta call my dad instantly. Because he's been with me since the start, since I was 13.
Since you were born.
Yeah, pushing me. Well, of course, but when I got in the music career, pushed me from day one, harder than anyone.
That's great.